Remember the games you played as a kid? Pixelated, colorful, with cheery music playing in the background. The kind of games that you would rush home after school just to play for hours and hours. Does it bring back memories? Well, what if these games were programmed with the sole purpose of controlling minds? And what if, without you knowing, you have already become a victim to the game? In this episode, we are going to investigate one of the most well-known incidents where this may have happened, in a small city called Lavender Town. If you happen to find an old copy of the Pokemon Red and Green games, pull out your old Nintendo Game Boy and give it a go. At first, you'll not notice anything out of the ordinary, typical Pokemon style. However, when you enter Lavender Town, take a look around, listen to the atmosphere, as well as the music. Has anything changed? Lavender Town is one of the cities where players will have to explore during their quest. However, unlike other towns in the Pokemon game, this place is gloomy, dark, and filled with the ghosts of old Pokemons, making many think that this town may or may not be holding a dark secret. Other things that were in Lavender Town was the Pokemon Tower, which was actually a huge mausoleum, and the only place players can find ghost-type Pokemons, including the ghost of Marowak, who sacrificed itself defending its baby from Team Rocket. As players continue to explore the town, they will discover a massive 7-story Pokemon memorial instead of a gym, where trainers mourn their departed creatures. Before this point in the game, Pokemon only fainted, leaving it unclear if they ever truly died. It seems we all must come to terms with the death of a treasured companion at some point. And it was all widely believed with pure intentions, as Nintendo wanted to use this opportunity to bridge the gap and convey towards their younger audience that Pokemon can indeed die. However, somewhere along the way, the intentions drastically changed, and this is where it gets even weirder with the addition of the Lavender Town music. The story goes that in 1996, when the first versions of the game were released, about 100 Japanese children between the ages of 10 and 15 died by self-deletion a few days after playing the game. And interestingly enough, it was only till the point at which the game entered Lavender Town. Even though it was later found out that in these early versions of Pokemon Green and Red, there was a rare glitch that allowed a wild Pokemon to attack players in the first stages when the player does not have any Pokemons to defend themselves. Investigations later narrowed it down to the music that was being played in Lavender Town. This tune was different from the rest of the soundtrack, monotonous and sad, and was said to have contained special binaural beats and high-pitched frequencies only available to children that caused psychological disturbances, which eventually led to their sad endings. Interestingly enough, there was a story that surfaced on the internet allegedly released by one of the programmers from the Pokemon game, confessing to intentionally creating Lavender Town for military purposes. Coincidentally, the time in which the game was created seemed to coincide with another mind control game, Polybius, which had the same intentions of programming young minds to recruit them into the military. But it's just a coincidence, right? Well, you see, that wasn't the only controversy surrounding the original Pokemon Lavender Town song, as it was visually analyzed using a spectrogram, and the results revealed that there might have been something else within the game. The spectrogram revealed a ghostly picture followed by 6 codes that together form the words, "Get Out." And even though it was said the game's director, Satoshi Tajiri, intentionally left that in the game just as an innocent prank to annoy children who picked the red version of the game over the green version of the game, many people are thinking that this story was released to protect the franchise's reputation, as whatever is going on in the game is not as innocent as it seems and goes way deeper. Well, if you made it to this part of the video, hang on for a minute because it doesn't stop there. Coincidentally, a year after the game was released, the 38th episode of the anime Electric Soldier Polygon premiered on Japanese television on December 16, 1997, about a Pokemon, Porygon, transporting Ash and his friends into cyberspace. However, as normal as it might seem, the scenes in this episode triggered seizures and sent roughly 700 Japanese toddlers to the hospital, eventually being taken off the air for several months. And even though each prior and upcoming episode had its strobing effect reduced, the episode Electric Soldier Porygon was never shown again. Now, Nintendo has constantly denied that such events occurred with harmful intentions, but it doesn't answer the question as to why the events actually happened, and with all the evidence clearly pointing to the situation being engineered specifically to cause psychological damage, is it really a stretch to say that there are forces out there looking for ways to control the world? The example of Polybius and the CIA's MK-Ultra program are other real-life examples of experiments that took place with the end goal of weaponizing mind control. And if the CIA had the technology, what makes you think that their Japanese counterparts weren't working on something similar? Even though the Lavender Town syndrome has not been classified as a threat because it was not commissioned by a big government agency, rather by a personal vendetta by one of the programmers, we have to wonder how true that story is and how dangerous it is if the game's code got into the wrong hands. Legend suggests that all the corrupted cartridges were destroyed, but the code was said to have survived and was even passed on to other language versions of the games. So the next time you pick up a new game, maybe take a closer look at what you are playing. You never really know who created it or what is actually in it.